Welcome to Vlog 65.
Make it work, make it work, make it work.
Hello. Welcome to Vlog 65, where we talk about Project Runway episode 13. This is part 1 of the finale of season 10. And it is getting exciting because the next episode is obviously part 2. And we find out who wins the season, and it's either Chris, it's either Dimitri, it's either Fabio, or it's Melissa. And obviously I'm not going to tell you who got kicked off the show until the end of this vlog. So we obviously always start at the Atlas. Nope, we didn't start at the Atlas Apartments today. We actually started right where Heidi pops in on the runway, where she pops in and, introduces the challenge and then tells them, oh, Tim's gonna meet you at such and such. So they each are getting $9,000 and they have 5 weeks to make their own collection at home. And they are making their own collections, but obviously they're not guaranteed the spot in the final 3 for Fashion Week. And Melissa makes a stretchy face like this. So it's kind of funny. Like, she kind of forgot that's an elimination, and she kind of forgot that there has to be a final 3. Duh. But whatever. And Chris says, I would feel so upset for anyone who would leave this competition. Yeah, think? And then Melissa, jokingly says, but with seriousness, now it's really all about Fashion Week. Now it's just me and 3 boys. Ugh. I have to kick their ass. That's what I have to do. Yep. So it's 1 girl and 3 guys. That should be fun. Now, obviously, they're not going to really talk about the process of the designers making the designs. However, in the last season they did. So for some reason they made a huge jump to 4 weeks later. Whatever. But, Tim Gunn obviously is going to come in and check up on them and, visit the families and visit the designers and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about the visitation of Tim and the people in the order that it happened. And I'm not going to say much about it because, if you watch the episode, you've seen the episode. If you haven't seen the episode, there really isn't much to say except, if they got a good review or a bad review. So the first person that Tim Gunn visited in some place in New York is Chris, and his inspiration with his collection was his mother, because his mother was recently in a car accident or some point in his life, and his mother had x-rays of her spine, and that would be a great usage for a print that he made. So he took some kind of picture of it and used it as his print. And he wanted to make something hunting and alluring. And then Chris bleached, leather, didn't like it, but Tim saw it and loved it and said, use it. And he said it's unique and it's one of a kind, so use it. So he basically got a pretty good review. The only thing Tim Gunn said is figure out what combinations work with what, as far as I remember. And then Fabio was the next person he visited in New Jersey, I believe, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. He was eating rice, etc. And at the start of the season, he mentioned that he eats out of dumpsters. So this is something that I observed. So why was he eating fresh food? Not that I have a problem with anybody eating fresh food, because that's probably much healthier than dumpster diving. But, they said something about that in the beginning of the season. And they were eating fresh dinner. Now, I'm assuming that they were eating fresh dinner because Tim Gunn is not gonna be a dumpster diver. But whatever, maybe he doesn't do it all the time. Now, his inspiration was just watercolors and stuff like that, and he actually named his collection, and he named it Cosmic Tribalism, Personas Within the Tribe. And one persona would be the priestess, and the other one would be the number of women. And Tim started from loving the draping and watercolors of the outfits to despising the long john pants and boots. And remember in the last Project Runway review, I mentioned that Tim Gunn, according to Fabio, had breathing, some breathing thing. Well, he did it again, and Fabio was not happy. Nope. Because Tim did not like the boots, and Tim did not like the long john pants, and stuff like that. But Fabio was very strong in his confidence of his outfit and stuff like that. So, I'll tell you what happened later. Dimitri was looking at iconic architecture, and that was his inspiration. And I kept hearing organic architecture, so let me know if he said iconic or organic, because honestly, I know he has a Russian accent, but nobody in that fucking show can actually, nobody in that show can actually talk. So, let me know what they actually said. But Dimitri asked Tim, do you actually like this color, in reference to the green color outfit that he made? And Tim said, no, but I can see how it can work. So Dimitri got a pretty good review, but there's really nothing to say. He met, people. Well, actually, Dimitri didn't have anybody living with him. He was at a friend's house for those 5 weeks because his friend was in Spain for that vacation, and so he was borrowing that apartment because he didn't have a lease or anything, because he couldn't afford it, because he had to quit his job for the Project Runway thing, because they wouldn't allow him to go on that vacation for so long, but whatever. And then he went to Melissa's house, which is in California. I love that every other designer was in New York or New Jersey, but Melissa is the only one way over there in California. But there's really nothing to say about, her review, other than, he was very impressed with her designs. She had texture stuff, and he was very impressed. But now we're going to get into it. In the workroom that they went to 1470 Mercedes Street or something, a new workroom just for the runway show. I'm not sure of the address, but I think that's what it was, 1470 something. And Tim Gunn says, you're presenting 3 looks to judges each, and you need to show your best looks, and you need to show range. And Melissa right away started getting doubts after looking at the guy's collection, and you can say that she pulled a Sanjia. And I only say she pulled a Sanjia because, in the last couple episodes, when Sanjia was still there, Sanjia was losing her faith in herself, and, she was losing faith in herself, and she had doubts too. Now, we're gonna go into judging, yay! And the judges were Michael Kors, Heidi Klum, and Nina Garcia, and there was no extra guest. And rightfully so, because I don't think anybody else would be able to, judge. Rightfully so. But I'm gonna actually this time talk in the order of, the way that the people were actually judged. Usually I don't care about the order, but today I am going to. So the first person that they judged was Fabio. Heidi Klum said, loves a different point of view. Haven't seen this. The way you pile so many things on yourself all the time, it works. Feels like the clothes need that because of cool, slumpy vibe. Modern, but still out there. Necklaces and bags are fantastic. Haven't seen these pieces before. And Michael Kors said, this is very, very, very cool. Colors are sugary sweet, and it's not this look at all. Usually sweet and sugary, but it's not this look at all. The yin and yang effect is very cool as well. And he really, really, really likes the Demented shoes because the shoes had different color laces and they were demented. And it made him smile and everybody was laughing like crazy. And the only thing that he didn't like about the look is the wigs, because the people would be talking about that a lot and they would be like, did you see that wig? Did you see that wig? Did you see that wig? That's exactly what he was saying. And he said you gotta make sure the combinations, specifically the cutouts, are balanced. And Nina Garcia said some of the pieces are definitely beautiful. They need to look more luxurious though, and they need to look more expensive. And the tie-dye shirt and the pant look very junior and needs to be more sophisticated and more polished. And Heidi Klum said you need to style it right, and it could have been more different, and if you style it right, it will be more different. So if he actually gets to go into the fashion show, then he could very well do better. And then the next person that was judged was Dimitri. Nina Garcia said, looks like you've done a lot of work, looks polished, expensive, white dress, very beautiful. Push yourself a little more in the styling and you will be okay. And Michael Kors said, you've got a lot of ideas and it's a little bit too much. Styling needs to be cooler and younger. Make sure there is sex appeal. Loves the jacket and the fringe on it, but then the bra and mesh is just too much. Can't see it anymore. Heidi Klum said, find the wow piece and stick it with something boring so it will stand out more, but make sure the boring piece isn't too boring so it all balances out. And then we're going to talk about Chris. And Chris, that was just an epic fail. Every designer that showed stuff today was an epic fail. They didn't understand the fact that they need to show their stuff, the best stuff that they had. They need to show the best stuff that they have. They tried to hide everything. He was having problems combining things and stuff like that. But this is what happened. He told, them about the story about the fact that the print was his mother's spine from the car accident, and Heidi Klum instantly says, that's a little creepy. But then she says she loves the colors, the leather mixed with the beautiful fabric, but would have loved to see something major wow pieces. And Michael Kors said, gotta make sure the volume is turned up on everything. Then Heidi Klum continued, that sweater and shorts that you made, you cannot possibly send that down the runway during the fashion week if you're given the opportunity to go down the fashion week. And doesn't understand why you even considered showing us that one. And Michael Kors said, the prints are fabulous, and you've got to keep trying every possible combination to make your look so much better. Nina Garcia said, surprised it went so dark. What he did with the fabrics themselves was perfectly great, but the clothes look way too similar. And then Chris said, I am upset that I didn't wow you guys, and he apologized. Sorry, Chris. And then we go to Melissa. Heidi Klum said it's very goth, and no doubt in my mind who the designer was when it was going down the runway. And the hero of the collection, or the three pieces, was the black and white jacket. The dress is a fine dress, but it doesn't knock me off my chair right now, and it's too simple. And Michael Kors said the jacket is very cool, and he's in love with the handbags that she made, and the wigs are insanely ugly. Why did these designers use wigs? I have no idea. Nina Garcia said the first question is it all black and white, the collection? And Melissa said, I have one red piece. And Nina Garcia said, can have black and white collection, but need to have extraordinary styling. The clothes are very limited by black and white. Sense of coolness to clothes. Pants are cool, but got to have something else. And you need to rethink the sleeves on the jacket because it's Robin Hoodish. And she literally went like this. Just cut them off. And everybody was laughing like crazy. And you know, they all said you can barely see the clothes because they were sitting in the front row, so to speak, when they were judging, and they were worried about, you know, if somebody is in the fifth row, they're barely going to be able to see the stuff. Okay, so that was the judging. Now, I mentioned that there has to be a final three, right? Now, we all know that Project Runway is going to sometimes land surprises, correct? Well, we got a big surprise. Everybody that designed stuff in this episode is going to the fashion show. Chris, Dimitri, Melissa, and Fabio are all going to the fashion show in New York. Yep. Pretty much that's it. So, no argument here. I mean, I don't think any of them deserve to be gone, and I don't think any of them deserve to stay from the outfits that they made. Honestly, I think, again, Melissa made the best stuff, but obviously you can't have just one person. But hopefully in the 2 days that they are given to polish their stuff, which is another point that I need to tell you, they fix stuff. But obviously, you know, these episodes have been, you know, edited, and this Project Runway stuff has happened already, so their 2 days has happened a long time ago. So you know, the 2 days will happen in the next episode, but we'll see what happens. I'm kind of rooting for Melissa at this point, just because I think her stuff has gotten a lot better. I know that I have a friend who's rooting for Chris, but I think that he could win too. I don't want Fabio to win, period. I think Dimitri could win as well, just because of Russian blood, but I know that he's a good tailor and stuff like that. But I don't know, that's about it. But yeah, if you guys want me to do anything special for my final Project Runway vlog for this season, please let me know. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.